Previously, when Kalia was training in swordsmanship after a long time, she exclaimed that it felt refreshing to sweat a lot after her pregnancy. Suddenly, her uncle Ganini arrived through a dimensional gate. Seeing her body covered in sweat, Ganini immediately draped his cloak over her shoulders. To this, Kalia asked him to remove the cloak, worried that her sweat would make it smell. Instead, Ganini summoned his water spirit and commanded it to remove the sweat from Kalia's body. Surprised, Kalia asked what the spirit had done, as her body now smelled very nice. During this, Ganini presented a baby stroller, saying he had made it for Shasha. He added that her Aunt Fu and Uncle Firasa had sent their love in the form of magical toys. Touched, Kalia embraced Ganini, expressing how much she loved their gifts with all her heart. Seeing her happiness, Ganini informed her that her grandfather Kelksasia was away at the moment, but when he returned to the fairy forest, he would officially announce Kalia as a member of the forest. Hearing this, Kalia felt overjoyed and stated she would love to visit the forest soon. So, let's dive into the chapters 64, 65, and 66 of the manhwa, The Baby Isn't Yours. Meanwhile, in the wizard's room, Wizard Darik is deep in research on the dragon's egg. Suddenly, Shaiman bursts into the room without any prior notice. With a gruesome expression, Darik wonders if Shaiman has finally come to kill him and if he has discovered his mistake. Sweating, Darik resumes his work, reflecting that his death bond should have already been delivered to his parents. He fears that Shaiman will never forgive him for not recognizing Kalia and attempting to propose to her. Instantly, Shaiman inquires about the egg. Darik informs him that it is growing safely, and after the final magic ritual, it will hatch at any time. Still scared, Darik imagines Shaiman might be thinking of punishing him by feeding him to the dragon. Trying to distract himself, Darik mentions that he has just received a message from the Wizard Tower. They report that a new type of monster has been spotted in some areas, and witnesses claim it feeds by ripping open the chest. The first sighting of this monster occurred 9 months ago. Initially, the tower didn't pay much attention, but now the matter has become serious. They have secured a corpse of a creature, suspecting it could be the same monster. Therefore, the tower is seeking Shaiman's opinion on the matter, as it might be related to the Chimer process. Dwelling in a deep dilemma, Shaiman reflects that first, the king needed him and Kalia, and now they have discovered Chimer's corpses. Thinking further, he recalls that about 30 years ago, an imperial doctor was expelled for experimenting with Chimera. At first, he thought the doctor was crazy, as he would cut up demons and put them together as if playing with dolls. The doctor even tried to bring their corpses together with other demons, conducting these insane experiments in the palace's laboratory without permission. However, the emperor spared the doctor's life and exiled him, as he had saved many lives. Shaiman is unsure if the doctor is still alive, but if he is, he would like to find out more about him. Trembling, Darik nervously insists he has no feelings for Kalia. He then shouts that if he had known it was Lady Kalia, he would never have done such a thing. Smiling, Shaiman tells him it is okay, as he trusts in Darik's loyalty. Shaiman reflects that he knows Darik was the one who placed that scroll in his chamber, which became the stepping stone to their love. Grabbing Darik's attention, Shaiman mentions that the scroll he created back then was truly a masterpiece invention a year ago. Shaiman then asks if the scroll is still in the capital, to which Darik answers affirmatively. Shaiman questions if the scroll requires genuine feelings between the couple to activate it. Clearly nervous, Darik confirms this, explaining that the couple must have affection for each other. Blushing, Shaiman reflects that he needs to use that scroll one more time on Kalia. Feeling embarrassed, Shaiman paces around the room, causing Darik to wonder why he is acting strangely. Changing his expression, Shaiman declares that he needs to check the scroll himself. Leaving the room, he orders Darik to keep a close watch on the egg and inform him immediately if anything happens. Later that same evening, Kalia immerses herself in serious thoughts, feeling concerned about the situation. First, she encountered lichen wolves in the fairy forest. Second, the king seemed off, and even her grandfather, Kelksasia, is away at the same time. Amidst this, Kalia notices Shaiman's cute spirit has arrived. She wonders what it is doing here. Suddenly, the spirit darts towards the door, signaling that its master is outside. As Shaiman enters the room, his spirit spins around him joyfully. Afterward, the spirit climbs onto Shaiman's shoulder and gives him a kiss on the cheek. Observing this, Kalia asks if the spirit belongs to him, to which he replies that its name is Tiara. Perplexed, she questions since when he has been able to perform spirit magic, and he informs her he learned it recently. Shaiman then asks if Shasha is sleeping at the moment. Kalia mentions that he fell asleep a little while ago after eating to his heart's content. Approaching the cradle, Shaiman gently caresses the sleeping Shasha. Seeing Shaiman's glowing lips, Kalia feels an urge to kiss him immediately. However, she maintains her composure, thinking she must be crazy to imagine this. Interrupting her thoughts, he calls her by her first name and mentions that there's something he wants to talk to her about. When she allows him, he invites her to have a drink together. A few minutes later, Shaiman and Kalia sit on the balcony under the moonlight. Touched, she expresses that it has been a year since they last had wine together. Smiling, he corrects her, saying it has been exactly 11 months and 9 days. He adds that they had their first wine at the victory party. Complimenting his memory, she asks how he remembers that day so exactly. He declares that he will remember that day for the rest of his life. After this declaration, Shimon falls silent for a moment. Noticing a drop of wine on Kalia's lips, he quickly wipes it without saying a word. Licking it off his finger, he conveys that he is going to try his best to seduce her. Gulping nervously, she wonders why he is acting so strangely all of a sudden. Shocked, she asks if this is what he wanted to talk about with her. Hearing this, Shimon lowers his eyes and begins to stammer. With reddened cheeks, Kalia questions what he truly wanted to speak to her about. Suddenly, he leans toward her and gently touches her face. Bringing his lips closer to hers, he asks if his motives really matter. When Kalia doesn't reply, Shimon moves even closer and delivers a romantic kiss. However, before they can go any further, Shasha wakes up and starts crying loudly. Hearing this, Kalia pushes Shimon away and rushes inside the room. Leaning against the wall, Shimon complains to the heavens for shattering his plan. Meanwhile, noticing the wet diaper, Kalia begins to change it. But Shimon stops her, requesting to let him change the diaper this time. As he kneels down to change it, Shasha suddenly relieves himself right onto Shimon's face. Seeing Shimon's soaked face, Kalia covers her mouth, trembling as she tries not to laugh. Amidst this, Shasha raises his tiny hands toward Shimon's face with a cute sound. Noticing this, Shimon holds Shasha's hands, causing the baby to laugh with his mouth wide open. Shocked, Kalia reflects that it's strange because Alan had said Shasha was too young to laugh yet. Playing with the baby, Shimon says that Shasha is just like his mother, and it seems impossible for him to win against him either. As Kalia starts to imagine a deeper connection between them, Shimon startles her by stating that he will be back after taking a quick shower. After he leaves, she holds Shasha in her arms and gently pats his back. Later, when Shasha falls into a deep sleep, she reflects that a dad will always be a dad. She can't believe Shimon can smile after being drenched in urine. He had always said he didn't like children and only cared for those to whom she showed affection. But since he found out that Shasha is his son, he has confessed his feelings to her and wants to take responsibility. Lost in these thoughts, she soon falls asleep, dreaming about how deep his love for her really is. She wonders if they will grow old together and whether he might be more than she deserves. Yet, he is also a great dad who handmade a toy and changes Shasha's diaper when needed. Cleverly, he's steadily seducing her with his actions. If they could be together, would she and her son Shasha be happier with Shimon? After some minutes, Shimon returns and gently picks up the crying Shasha in his arms, asking him to stop weeping, as his mother is still sleeping. Hearing the baby cry, Kalia wakes up and wonders what Shimon is doing. Concerned, he asks if he should sing a song, since he has already changed the baby's diaper, but Shasha is still not calming down. Shasha then makes a teary face, to which Shimon scolds him lightly, mentioning that he woke up his mother. Instantly, Shasha begins to cry heavily in a frightened manner. Realizing his mistake, Shimon pats his back and assures him that he was only joking. Approaching Kalia, he offers to take Shasha with him so she can rest, explaining that he heard the baby crying and found her asleep. Feeling guilty, Kalia admits she fell into a deep sleep since it's been a long time since she had a drink. Shimon suggests she take some rest, but she protests, saying that Shasha must be hungry, as babies eat every 2 to 3 hours, whether it's day or night. In an energetic voice, she says she feels refreshed after getting some good rest. Sensing she might be fibbing, he playfully points out that he can tell her eyes are still drowsy. Plus, they will be very busy when they return to the capital. He also heard that giving birth is like reattaching a bone in the mother's body, and she needs good health to regain her full strength before they depart. Dazed, Kalia wonders if she has really been working that hard, as she has Nanny Latrika to watch over Shasha and Galas and Alan, who are always by her side helping her. And on top of that, she has Shimon, this lovely man. Flopping onto the bed, Kalia reflects that her son Shasha is truly blessed. She then advises Shimon to make sure the milk is at 40 degrees, or Shasha will get a headache. After heating the milk to the right temperature, Shimon begins to feed it to Shasha. Observing him, Kalia ponders that they were once like siblings and comrades. But she never thought she would see this side of him. Suddenly, she reminds him that he said he loves her. Chuckling, he asks if it's hard for her to believe, and wonders if he should tell her every time they meet. Clarifying her stance, she says she believes his words, but she still can't feel it's real that he confessed his love for her. Hearing this, Shimon smirks and asks if he should make her believe it through his actions. As we wrap up today's segment, thank you for being with us until the very end. I'll be sharing fresh videos of this manga and exciting new series every weekend. Your support is invaluable, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Your encouragement keeps the channel thriving, and I appreciate it immensely. Until next time, take care and goodbye.